we have to do on the ground. Our clinic, our hospital is also not well refurbished. We've got 2 police stations that is in the Fishhook area as well as in the Muizenberg area. Those police stations, one of which is high up on the mountain, it's not accommodative in terms of reaching to the communities around. So there is many things. I think there's a lot of space, lots of improvements that which the ANC can come in and assist and be a very brave, good oversight in that particular ward.
Thank you, Comrade Lorraine, for a very comprehensive profile. Comrade Bongi, how about your area? What are the issues there?
Greetings, Comrade. Comrade, Ward 66 is a fairly a 94% DA and 4% ANC. So ANC visibility is actually not in Ward 66. So that is where I come in, where I would love to establish that, to have that in our area. As well as we do have a bit of issues, water issues, water devices that was bought faulty, that needs to be investigated. There's quite a bit of issues even concerning health. Our clinic, we have a clinic in Lotus River that is not easily accessible for everyone in the area. So it's not safe. In the morning, they have to get up and take a taxi, go to the clinic, and it's not actually even for hours as well. We would love to have like a 24-hour services in our area, all right? As well as we have quite a bit of issues when it comes to roads. Our roads need refurbishing, renovation. We have a lot of potholes on our roads, including speed bumps as well, that we have been requesting for a couple of years now. That hasn't been done. As well as communication with the community. That is what I would love to establish within our ward. Communication where people can be heard, because that is what they want to be heard of their complaints, and that what can we do as an ANC to the community. Thank you, Comrade.
Thank you, Comrade Bongi. Comrade Renier.
Thank you very much, Comrade Faiez. As I mentioned, my name is Renier Louw from Cape Agulhas sub-region, Ward 3. So in my ward, there's about 1,272 people living in my ward, with about 3,766 that are registered voters. So that's about 59%, and 59% of people actually go out and vote. It's a fairly young ward with a median age about 26%. It's a predominantly Afrikaans speaking community with about 68% people speaking Afrikaans. Also, there's about 1,000 plus minus 1,500 households in Ward 3. Ward 3 is made up of Kleinbegin and also Zwelicha, and new area that was built, which we call now Simunye. It's a fairly mixed ward between colored and black people living together. It also then there's Zwelicha, which form part of the informal settlement, and that is where the challenges come in. We obviously inadequate housing, not getting the proper services, not having toilet facilities, not having proper running water, unemployment, the list goes on. And as we know, these socioeconomic problems has got a knock-on effect. So if people are unemployed, obviously people won't have housing, they won't have any income. And that leads to high crime rates, which leads to high school dropout rates. And then the problem continues. That is one of the challenges that we've been facing in our community, and especially Ward 3. And one of the things is, and also I think the previous comrades mentioned about communication, there's a shortage of information, especially in our ward. It's a ANC stronghold, and for the last let's say for the last 5 years, since 2016, it has been the DA for the municipality, and this ward has been fairly neglected in terms of services, potholes, information reaches us last when it comes to employment. So we need to have better communication, better public participation process going forward. Educate the people about the importance of the IDP and why they need to get involved in the IDP processes, getting people involved, and especially young people involved in organizations, civic organizations focusing on the well-being of people, like your soup kitchens, getting involved in the NGOs working on the ground, because these organizations are there to support what's happening in our communities. And these are not, this is currently not, and we also have a big leadership vacuum, not only from the leaders, what we call now as your ward councillors, but I'm talking about leaders from young people stepping up and taking the lead themselves. Because, throughout all of these issues, the community has been demoralized. They don't want to come out and vote, because what are they going to come out and vote for? So how do we bring back the morale of the people? By getting the people involved, and that's key, what the ANC needs to do going forward. And I also think that we need to make people center in terms of the decision-making processes, and that is where we feel we need to work on, and in trying to organize, mobilize, and educate our communities, because we need to go back to the basics with this round, especially with the ANC being in its renewal process. We need to think, how do we get people part of the process and part of the decision-making, comrade?
Okay. Now, comrades, I think the next question, and thank you for those inputs. The next question is obviously around, now that you shared with the listeners and the viewers your profile of your area and the challenges and the issues, what are you going to do as the candidate? And why should people in your area and ward support and vote for you? Let's start with you, Comrade Bongi.
Okay. Comrade, what I'm planning to do is to re-establish, like I said, the communication first. Like I said, that people are not being heard. First, I'll do the surveys of all the issues that people are experiencing, for them to voice themselves out. From there, that will be the investigation, right? And then from there, then I will do, I will communicate to them that the plan that we're going to put in place, so that we can resolve these issues, because the issues need to be resolved. Like I mentioned, I think I didn't mention that I got a ward of 8 VDs that was in demarcation. So I actually was included with fire station and Islamic. So I would really combine those VDs and get communities to come out and voice out what their issues are. That is my plan for now.
Comrade Lorraine.
Thank you so much, Comrade Faiez. So what we did as a branch, and I'll speak of as a branch, because I represent, being a ward candidate means that I represent the community at large, and the branch is also part of the community. So there are different points that which we have raised together, drafting what we call a manifesto, to make sure that we are giving them a document of commitments, the things that we will do in the next 5 years. So starting this year, 2021, up until 2026. So for the aspects that I raised when we're profiling the ward, the issues of education, most people will say it's part and parcel of national, but reality is that the 2 different kinds of, actually 3 different kinds of schools are in the community. This is the ECDs, the primary schools, as well as the high schools. The direct involvement with those is very much important. One thing that which we forget is that when we speak of high schools, that is where our youth voter is. The establishment of courses, the establishment of what will become our alliance in the future. The grade 11, grade 12 outreach is one of those things that which I feel will be very much important. That is under education. Under health, we've got 2 clinics, main clinics. One is in Muizenberg and the other one is in Fishhoek. They are very much under-resourced. They are not refurbished. I think the ability from the ANC, again, the issues of health falls under us national. We are governing as the ANC to chase after that and to make sure that we speak as the voice of reason, that much as this province is governed by DA, when it comes to resourcing, the ANC government is the one that is actually on the front line to make sure that everybody receives resources equally. The issues of crime, to make sure that people don't fear each other because of we've got the fear of the us and them, you know, the racial issue, the tensions in terms of who is the homeless, who is where, and so forth. I've recognized that in actual fact, the private securities are much higher in numbers than our normal law enforcement as well as subs. So that on its own is a very major concern. And I'm not saying that when it comes to crime issues, that it's wrong to have a high rate of private securities. It's actually a good thing. But then without proper control and management, it can actually get out of hand. So there is many things that which I can place on the ground, the issues of coordinating business that can be able to bring the aspects of employment in the area. I believe that we are attracting our neighboring communities to come and do business with us. But at the same time, we also have our own unemployment challenges. How do we create business opportunities within a place where there is so much gatekeeping, gentrification, and so much bylaws that make it difficult for people to actually come up with meaningful projects that will improve their communities. So there is, in a nutshell, so many things. I mentioned that it's about 8 of them, and I mentioned 50% of that. But then the manifesto document speaks to that, speaks to what we will do on the ground and how we will monitor that going forward. Because of although we are very small on the ground, but we can be a loud voice in terms of speaking for the marginalized and the oppressed. Thank you.
Thank you. Comrade Renier.
Thank you very much, Comrade. In terms of my ward, I think as I mentioned before we started the live, is that I come to the ward with a very specific project management, community development approach. I think these are the type of skills that we currently need in our wards to build this. So the first thing that I would do in terms of as the candidate is to do a ward profile. It's very important to exactly know who is living in your ward, how many young people are there, how many people are unemployed. We do make use of stats, but unfortunately some of these stats are outdated, communities are growing, and we don't always keep up with who is living in our ward. So in order to understand who's living there, then we know exactly what resources and what type of programs needs to be implemented. So that's the first thing. Then the second thing is obviously, and this is sometimes that I think candidates neglect to do, is build relationships with the communities. That leads to trust. You cannot be a ward candidate and not have trust and not have a relationship with your voters, with the community at large. So that is one of the things that we need to work on, and especially me as a candidate, try to build relationships with the people around me, not alienate people, whether or not you voted for me or not. You are living in this ward, so we need to work together in order to move this forward. Secondly, is also doing mapping in terms of who are my stakeholders, what resources do I already have at my disposal? Because sometimes we neglect to do that, to see what is already at my disposal and how can I utilize that to the benefit of my ward, and then see where are the gaps and try to fill these gaps with the stakeholders that we will be working with. The other thing is also that what I'm going to do as a ward as candidate, if I'm going to be elected, is to build block committees. As the candidate, you cannot try to solve everyone's problems alone. You find candidates stretching themselves by trying to address individual problems. So you neglect certain people, and people see, why are you helping this person? You're not helping that person. You know, you need to have a different approach. So build block committees. And from those block committees, make sure we have women representatives, we have men representatives, we have youth, this LGBTQI from these block communities. And then once, if you do that, then you know when it comes to feedback, communities can then go to the block leaders. The block leaders, the issues that they can resolve, they can resolve. If they cannot, we bring it to the ward councillor. The ward councillor takes it further to council and see how we can address these problems. As I was saying, we should try to make people part of the decision, part of the process. That builds relationships, it builds trust over the process, and then you don't have to worry about them people, you know, having to get voted the next time if you want to stand as a candidate, because you've already established your base with your community, and by making people part of the process, part of the decision making. So that is what I'm going to do as a ward candidate if I'm elected in Ward 3 Cape Agulhas.
Thank you, comrades. I think those are really good points about what your focus are. I think there's a clear line between service delivery. You all are focused on service delivery. I like the points around partnerships and communities and bringing people together in the ward committees and the block committees and working for everybody. And also looking at how do you deal with legacy issues, apartheid, spatial planning, and that. The next question I want to bring to all of you, and I'm going to start with you, Comrade Renier, is the ANC's election manifesto. So about a week ago, the president launched the ANC's election manifesto, and he made a pledge. And he also asked, I think the one thing that was very striking for me, he was asking South Africans to lend their support to the ANC and our candidates. And he was also very clear in terms of acknowledging the mistakes, committing ourselves to be dealing with corruption, dealing with mismanagement. Comrade Renier, from your side, what were the takeaways of the election manifesto?
I think, Comrade, one of the takeaways is, for me, is accountability, especially from the pledge. I think, you know, as the president said, we have to be honest with ourselves as the ANC. We've made a lot of mistakes. Individuals made a lot of mistakes that brought the ANC in destitute. But with the new renewal process, with the 25% of young people, you know, taking part in the local elections, it shows that the ANC is serious about renewing, you know, the ANC by making space for younger leaders to step forward, and for younger leaders also to be accountable, to learn from the mistakes of our predecessors. You know, that's what we need to do going forward. And I think that is what I take away from the manifesto, and especially to be available to our people. And as I mentioned earlier, if you're not visible in your communities, you're not working together, how can you be available to your communities? So I think those are the two things that I want to take away from the manifesto. There are obviously a lot of other issues, especially if I want to talk in my ward specifically that the manifesto touched, was the issue of housing. We have a major challenge of housing, and I think that is, you know, across Africa, that's a big challenge. So we definitely need to look at and zoom on in, especially on these issues, especially when it comes to young people in the Western Cape who are, you know, under the age of 35 that cannot qualify for housing. It's a big challenge, you know, and these are things that I think we need to zoom on. But those are some of the key takeaways that I take away from the manifesto. But I do think that accountability is the key one in terms of that I take away from the manifesto, Comrade.
Thank you. Comrade Lorraine, what are your key messages from the manifesto?
Thank you so much. I think our manifesto, let me start here. One of the things with the ANC is the ability to reach to people from all walks of life. Whether you are learned, educated, or not educated, there is a capability to simplify things. Our president, being high up there, spoke the language of everyone within all spheres. And that tells me that our manifesto is very much uniting. Our manifesto wants to make sure that everybody can hold the ANC into high confidence in terms of making sure that when we speak service delivery, we will deliver. And when we speak service delivery, we will monitor it. And when we speak service delivery, we will be able to reach the points that which we have made for the next 5 years and more. So my one big take is the issue of unity, and secondly, the issue of doing away with corruption. We know very well that we are struggling because of the issues of corruption. There is so many commissions that have been established just to investigate corruption. So that tells me that the ANC is very serious in ensuring that when funds come, resources come, they actually go to the rightful place where they should be and utilized for the people in ensuring that service delivery is actually done the right way. So that is a very big takeaway for me. And it gives me great comfort to know that I've got not only the backup of my ordinary ward manifesto, but I know that the national manifesto also covers and backs me up in ensuring that if somebody was to challenge the ANC down where I am at the ward, they will know that, but in our manifesto, we have said that we will deal with corruption and its roots. Thank you.
I lost everyone. Well, on my side, what I took on that was I got 3 points. It's accountability, availability, as well as services promptly delivered and with consistency, because there is no consistency within our wards, you know. So that is something that we need to work on, especially availability. When people complain about something, then the councillor is not available. That is a big issue. As Comrade Renier has explained earlier on, that we need to reestablish building relationships with our communities, and that is what, and that starts also with communication. When there's no communication, then we can't get that right. So thank you.
Thank you very much for those responses. I think the president in the manifesto and the pledges, he spoke to all the issues that we have. The one big issue is also this notion of we pledge as the ANC to do better. We do better together. This pledge of a more serious commitment to implement. You know, the ANC is the organization that provides a pro-poor, people-centered policy. I mean, it's the ANC that provides a no fees school, indigent for the poor, grants, SASA, and even NSFAS. So these are all benefits because of the ANC policy that our communities can get. Bongi, just from your side, I mean, obviously your area there's a lot of challenges there. What is the issue around vaccination? How is people dealing with vaccination? Because look, there is a story that some people are hesitant to vaccinate, and also people don't understand the importance of vaccination. Because if we all vaccinate, hopefully by December or so, there won't be a need for us to all wear masks. How has vaccination been picked up in your area? What's your sense, Comrade Bongi?
Comrade, what I've noticed is that people really are resistant to vaccinate. It's a different number of factors, but what I would love to establish is vaccination sites in my area, because there is a lot of gangs. We have a lot of vagrants as well in our area, so that needs to be tackled as soon as possible. Yeah, because that will be an issue of health as well. Yeah.
Renier, how's the vaccination drive there in your area of Overberg?
I would definitely say it's going quite well, better than expected. You know, there are elements of people that are a little bit undecided, and also that has got to do with trust of government and etc. You know, also certain people's personal reasons, but the vaccination program is rolling. We've also, in terms of with the youth league, running programs, you know, in terms of making sure people know about the vaccination site, encouraging people to vaccinate, taking selfies, share with people to encourage young people to vote. To vaccinate. So it is going good. I think we can do more. As candidates, encouraging people to go out and actually, vaccinate. And I think also what we've been doing while we were also, on the ground and doing door to door, we're engaging people around the issues also of vaccination. So you'll find that some people are already vaccinated. One of the vaccination sites is in my ward. So we always see lines. I do not have the exact number for Cape Agulhas, especially the stats now, but I definitely see it is going good in terms of in our area.
Comrade Lorraine.
Thank you so much. So the vaccination issue, vaccination is a human rights issue. So it's very much important that the communities understand that it is their right to vaccinate or not to vaccinate. However, with all of this, the idea is to get everybody understanding vaccination. So one of the things that which I haven't mentioned is making sure that we establish facilities that will allow for people to have what we call pre-vaccination counseling. So what that means, it means that they get a place where they can talk about their fears around vaccination. And then after the vaccination, they can have what we call the post-vaccination counseling. So if they've met challenges, side effects, whatever, they can talk to someone, because what we have seen currently, and that's what's generating a lot of fears in terms of people and vaccinations, is because of people have got serious side effects out of this vaccinations, or some of the vaccinations for that matter, but it is not the majority. Reality is that it is about 10% of that, or far less in actual fact. So the thing is that negative news spread like wildfire. Let me just say that. And most people would want to entertain negative news than the positive news. That is why it is important to have the pre-vaccination counseling and to have the post-vaccination counseling, so that they know that there is a sense of care. And all these things will happen within a caring ward area. Currently we are talking about national and provincial, we're talking about municipal area, but we never speak about the normal ward area. We never speak about the ordinary voting district area. And if we can take the big chunk and make it into small chunk, I think that will help in terms of making people understand the importance of vaccinating and doing and giving what we call informed consent, because they will be fairly informed and all bases covered. Thank you.
Thank you very much, comrades. Those are really important points about the need for vaccination, the need for empowering, the need to reassure people both pre and post. I want to focus back to your commitment, and I really want each of you as candidates, I'll start with you, Comrade Lorraine, to sell yourself. Basically, if I'm an undecided voter in your area, why must I vote for you?
Thank you, Comrade Faiez, for that question. I am a qualified social worker. I have got a background of religious affiliation and leadership. I'm a well-known community leader within a community where most people would say it is very much privileged people. I do not believe in racism and being racist. I believe in inclusiveness, meaning that male, female, undecided, whatever that exists within a community, and whoever that exists within a community has got to know that they are seen, they are heard, and that they can rely on me to become their voice where they cannot speak for themselves. I'm a regular attendee of the sub-council meetings, even if I am not there to represent anything, but just to be there to listen, to hear what is available around the area. So that makes me informed. That makes me aware, where is the budget going of that particular ward? I am very much clued up in terms of the ward committee, its function, and where I can contribute. I'm a regular attendee of the ordinary different voting districts, areas, community meetings, in making sure that I am visible, in making sure that I understand when somebody comes and say there's a best pipe in a particular street, I know exactly where that is, because I take my time to orientate myself within that particular ward. So in a nutshell, I pledge that I'll be available. I pledge that I definitely will be there to ensure that they are being heard and they can communicate with me at any time, day and night. And that is a promise that I give them. Thank you.
Thank you, Comrade Lorraine. Comrade Bongi.
Thank you, Comrade, for this opportunity again. My name is Bongi Daniels. I studied training and development, okay? And I've also been in administration. I've been working with the community as well, doing community work, rehabilitating the kids within the area, counseling them, just getting them out of the streets. I've been a community worker, as well as also running, assisting, administering in the feeding scheme as well. All right. So what I would pledge for the voters out there is that I will be available to hear their concerns, as well as investigate what their problems is and where we can resolve those issues. The main thing is also taking accountability, because mainly people just want someone that they can trust. And I'm well known in the area where people can come with their issues and come just confide and just seeking for resolution. In that way, I can assist, as well as also I would love to do a mapping within our area in getting all the issues that the people are facing, and that I will open also a channel, a 24-hour channel where they can actually contact me, and then we can resolve those issues. So that is yes, availability. That is the main thing. Availability and being heard. I pledge for that.
Great stuff. Comrade Renier, how about you? Why must we vote for you?
Thank you very much, Comrade Faiez. Tough act to follow. No, I think I want people to vote for me because my ward, I'm a community leader, for the last 10 years. I'm a youth activist. I've got over 10 years experience in local government at municipal level, where I worked as a project administrator, project coordinator in the human development department. I've got an educational background in public administration, community development.
Comrade Renier,
I enjoy just being with people, doing programs with people. I was the chairperson of the Cape Agulhas Youth Council. I'm the secretary of 2 NGOs, one which we would call a soup kitchen, but it does much more than that. And the other one is an organization that focuses on building youth development, focus on building men and also women. I'm also a skilled administrator. When it comes to proposal writing, I've secured fund organizations over R1 million over the last 10 years from international organizations. And I think definitely if you want somebody with a professional background, somebody that is a great communicator, somebody that is a people's person, somebody that understands how local government works, how the IDP works, somebody that are interested in, that understands governance, the person to vote for. Also, I'm young, I'm vibrant, I'm innovative. I'm sure that is somebody, you want somebody like that in your ward that can still do things and can run around and get my hands dirty. I'm not somebody that, I'm not afraid to get my hands dirty. And I believe in always working in a team. And I'm what I call myself, I'm a servant leader. I believe you must serve your people. I like to lead from the back. I like to push people to the front. I like to do things in circles. You know, I believe in working together. That's the type of person that I am. I follow a specific type of methodology, which is called popular education, which is helping people where we learn, we teach with our whole being. If you guys want to know more a little bit about it, go and check out Paulo Freire, Pedagogy of the Oppressed. I like to read. I like to educate myself. That's the type of person that I'm. I'm a passionate person, as you can see, or as you can hear. That's who I am, and I'm excited about the journey ahead. And I hope that people would like to have an energetic candidate that is also passionate about the community that I'm coming from. So I'm quitting my full-time job to come and work part-time in my community, if I can put it like that. And I'm doing that out of the depth of my heart, because I have a love for my community. And those people who know me, the stakeholders that I've worked with in Cape Agulhas and also in my ward, would know what type of person I am. I'm the type of person that will wake up in the middle of the night to take your child to hospital. And that is what I was talking about, building relationships. And people know me. And I've been doing that long before I've also before I was even thinking about politics. And currently I'm here at this moment. So vote for Renier, Louw, Ward 3, Cape Agulhas. Mandla.
Thank you very much, guys. That was really good motivation. I certainly would recommend voting for all three of you, and great work. Just in terms of your activities and your programs, and we're gearing up towards the 1st of November. Just share with us, I'll start with you, Renier. You have less than 26 days left. I think it's till the 1st of November. So just share with us as viewers and listeners, what is your priorities? What's your activities? What are you going to do in your area leading up to the 1st of November? What are the things that people can look forward? And how can they get involved? How can they join you? If I'm someone in the area and I like what I hear, how can I reach out to you? How can I contact you?
Comrade Faiez, we have a weekly program that runs every, especially after hours from 5:30 until 7:30 in the evening, where we do door to door, where we target certain voters from the voting roll, that we encourage, especially the voters that stayed away in 2016, encouraging these voters to come out and vote for the ANC so that we can deliver better services because we need them. On Thursday, the Minister Barbara Creasy will be in Cape Agulhas in Arniston at 10 o'clock, and also in 12 o'clock in Struisbaai, where we're going to try to address some of the issues of the fishermen in those two fishing communities. On Saturday, we are busy having a fundraiser at Lesedi Square from 10 o'clock until 3 o'clock, so you can come and bring your car. We wash it for 50 Rand, where we will also have a blitz program where we will be engaging with voters and also encouraging people to come out and vote. So that will be our program for the week. People can look forward to it. We will be doing mass door to door for the next couple of days or 2-3 weeks that we still have left, to ensure that voters are aware of the programs that we are doing. So yeah, I think Cape Agulhas can watch out for that, and they're welcome to join us. We meet at the Lesedi Square every evening at 5:30 to do the door to door. So if people still want to volunteer and be part of the campaign, they're more than welcome to join us at the Lesedi Square tonight at 5:30.
Right, Comrade Bongi, what is your plans? Programs for the next few weeks?
Comrade, what we have in place is our fundraising. Every Fridays and Saturdays we have that at my place. We have Boerewors rolls that we're selling, as well as with donuts on Saturdays. So that is one of my programs. But currently we are doing canvassing door to door. That's what's going to be happening from now on until the elections. We'll focus mainly also using the voters roll on all those old ANC voters that just fell on the ground, So we're trying to actually get them back, win them back as well. as well as the recruiting for elections. We're still recruiting for our VDs to have enough party agents. That is what is in our pipeline, as well as also using our pamphleting. So that is something that's coming next, using the manifesto. We will be printing out our pamphlets and distributing all different VDs. So that is our
Great.
plan for the next couple of weeks.
Thanks. Comrade Lorraine.
Thank you so much. So this year is my second and I believe last term in standing as a ward candidate for Ward 64. I stood in 2016 in the spirit of Utata Nelson Mandela. We don't stay in a position forever. We hand over the baton. So this year, there is also the aspect of me assisting other branches as not only mentor, but administrating for the entire LET. So in terms of my ward specific, there are 3 different programs that are happening. There will be a multi-party debate that is taking place on Thursday at 1800 up until 2000. We will broadcast it live so that comrades can be able to join in. Our venue unfortunately takes only 50 people due to COVID regulations, so we still need to stick to that. So those who can make it will be inside the venue with us, and then the others will have to join in via the online social media. Secondly, the Friday will be doing the door-to-door with the use of the voters roll. So we are not going to spread, because we know very well with the different VDs, what is our percentage in terms of the voters for ANC. Minimum is 15% that we are going to distribute with a maximum of 50% pamphlets. Issues of resources are difficult in terms of the money to print pamphlets, but then we'll make a plan. We are comrades, we always do. And then Saturday, we've got what we call a mini concert stroke mini rally that will take place. I need to confirm the sensitivity of doing a party, inverted commas, in our fishing community where they are struggling with the issue of quotas. You know, there is a burning issue under the fishing industry that we must be aware of. So the initial was that we will take it to Colk Bay. That is our base. But then at the end of the day, there is this one cloud, that cloud hanging in terms of the quotas that might be cut off to 52% over 3 years, things like that are things that which we have to be sensitive about. So I will confirm venue in terms of that mini concert or mini rally in launching our manifesto properly. So that is, let me take also this opportunity, Comrade Faiez, to abuse your spotlight a bit and say that we've got other 15 ward candidates within my area that needs the support of everyone. They must check them out. They must check us out. We are here to win for the ANC. Every vote counts. Ballot 1, ANC, and ballot 2, ANC. Thank you, Comrade.
Thank you, Comrade Lorraine. And I think that's where we're going to pull it together. I want to wish each and every one of you a very success in your campaign. I certainly, the ANC certainly rooting for all of you. As the ANC in the Western Cape, I think it's important that we support each other. The reason why we're standing for elections is to serve our people. And we are putting great candidates like yourselves to give that momentum to our people. We want to give you motivation and inspiration. And we're also saying to our constituency, give our candidates a chance. Give our candidates, you heard from them now. These are great, committed people, ordinary people just like you that you can believe in, that you can trust. They are trustworthy, they are committed, they are servants of our people. So I want to reach out to the electorate, to the viewers, to the listeners. Please give the ANC a chance, and through the candidates that you just experienced now, you'll see that the ANC is on a winning trajectory. We are here to unite and renew and to serve our people. I want to just give each one of you just a quick last word to say goodbye to everybody. So let's start with you, Comrade Lorraine.
Thank you so much to all our viewers and listeners for tuning in. I know that it reaches you at different times and in different places. So we thank you so much for taking the time to listen to us and to listen to what we pledge to deliver in our communities. Vote ANC ballot 1, vote ANC ballot 2, tell others to vote ANC to Amandla.
Away to Comrade Bongi.
Thank you so much for this time that I could actually pledge to the community of Ward 66. So when you've seen this video, just know that I commit to be available to all your concerns. Amandla.
Thank you, Comrade Renier.
Thank you very much. I just want to say to the listeners and to the viewers that the ANC is nothing without its members, and we need every ANC volunteer to come out and hit the ground running. If you're still hesitant, please come out, and also please vote for the ANC in this up and coming election. I worked in the DA municipality for the last 5 years, and it was terrible, and I don't want to go through that again for the next 5 years. So please, let's take the ANC forward. I still believe the ANC is still the organization that can take the country forward. Amandla.
Amandla. Thank you very much, everybody. And I want to say special thanks to our executive producer, Aisha Abrams. And if you like this video, please share it. If you like what you heard, please help our candidates, and more importantly, encourage other people to vote. I'm Faiez Jacobs, and I'm signing off. Thank you very much, and hope to hear from you or see you tomorrow. Tomorrow we have a very interesting group of candidates. We're spreading our wings wide in the province, and we're also combining both comrades from the metro and also from our rural areas. So watch the space and tune in tomorrow. Have a good day, everybody. Thank you.